Namaskar. For the last couple of months, there have been many occasions where we have spoken about the eternal self, the wrong identifications, false assumptions, associations born out of ignorance, and so on. All of them hinting at life, death, and so on. All of them hinting at only one thing, and that is the body and the self, body and the Atman are different. Now, for the last couple of days, for certain reasons, we are again approaching the same issue in different ways. The idea is, first of all, it is just happening and we are sharing. But the idea of sharing also is that a particular issue, when it is seen from different angles, may make a lot of sense to certain group of individuals, and that is precisely the reason why we are again talking about it today. We start off with the story of Osho, wherein a lady approached Gautam Buddha along with the dead body of her son and said, "My son has died. Please get him back to life." Gautam Buddha said, "Okay, fine, we will do it. But now do one thing. Before getting him back to life, I need a couple of mustard seeds. Go to any of the houses in this village and get a couple of mustard seeds. But the only condition is that there should not have been a single death till now in that house. Get it from there." She says, "Okay." She went to every village, every house in the village, and asked the same thing. And everybody said, "You see, we are growing in our fields this mustard. You can take as much as mustard as you want. But the point is, the second condition which he has put, that condition we cannot fulfill, because there have been deaths in our family, in our households. So on that count, we don't stand the test." The woman realized, and she said, she realized, and she went back to Gautam Buddha and said, "I have got my answer. This is a very natural thing, it happens. And I am okay with it. I have accepted this to be happening to my son. It will happen to me also. It happened to my husband, it happened to my parents, and now it's the son. Maybe, not maybe, after some time it will be me." It's a natural process. So, what has to be understood in this is, there are 5 sheets of, as per yoga, Manmaya Kosha, Pranmaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, and Vijnanmaya Kosha, and Anandmaya Kosha, and so on. There are 5. We'll take help of one sheet, and that is Annamaya Kosha. This body that is being seen here, this body, This body is a result of the food consumed by the parents. It is survived and grown because of the food consumed by this body, and it will go back to where it came from, that is, as food to the insects, birds, and so on. So, what rises from the food, sustains on food, will also end on food and as food for animals and all, and this cycle will continue. This is one. Sorry. Second is, as long as this body keeps getting food, it will grow, it will sustain itself. But the day it stops getting food, it will die. So, food is an integral part, and this what we see is only food, nothing else. Anna. Since it has taken birth and it is a different form of food, so therefore this form has come into an existence. It will keep changing its forms, that is, the body has born, then it will grow, then it will say, there will be a time when it starts degenerating, and then there will be a time when it merges back to where it came from as food for the insects, and the cycle will carry on. So, it is a very natural process for this body to degenerate, and when it degenerates, it will also go back to where it came from. Moreover, in one of the videos we had covered the aspect of atoms. It is a collection of atoms bound by the energies of the atoms, arranged in a particular sequence, and that is why each individual and each body is also different. Here we have to now see that the whole body, or me as you see now, I am a combination of two things essentially. One is what can be seen, felt, touched, and so on. That is this body, which is nothing but food, a result of food, surviving on food, and then ultimately becomes the food. So it is the food that you are seeing in a different form. There is also a second part aspect to it, and that is the one which is not perceptible, not perceptible to the senses. No one can touch me, touch that aspect of me. No one can hear that aspect of me and smell that aspect of me, or all these five senses. So I am composed of two aspects. One is what can be seen, and the other what cannot be seen. So what is seen is not the one who is the real one. As long as my relatives associate with this changed form of food, will they be committing an error? The moment they realize that association with this body is what do you call is born out of ignorance, is born out of not being able to comprehend what is, that is the real self or the Atman. The inability to comprehend or understand or know the Atman is the reason why they consider the body to be me, and they will always be in pain if they do so. Therefore, the best for them and also best for me is to know that I am what is being what I say as I am composed of two things. One is what can be seen, touched, and smelled, and all those things. Second is the one which none of these senses can know. It is beyond these five senses. So, how can one understand this? Is the obvious question, and that would be covered in subsequent episodes. For now, suffice it to say that remaining in the purest form as the self, that is, the moment we are out of the state of sleep and before the rising of the state of the thought of I, in this brief interval, knowing this and expanding this state, this aspect of being. It may not be very clear right now, but we can simply say that negating the effects of our sense organs or knowing, having a knowledge that the sense organs are fine, but I am not the sense organ, I am also not this body, I am the one behind it, that is the one making it function. I am the driver and not the car. And this understanding itself would be sufficient to experience that separation of the body and the Atman. Idea is to separate the two, understanding, perceiving as two different things: the vehicle and the driver, the equipment and the electricity, the sun and the light. This is how we would be able to remain in a state of separatedness from our bodies. And when we are in a state of separateness from our bodies, would be able to see the others also in that separated state. And as a result, engaging with them while they are in the body at an atmic level would be much more easier. The ignorance would not come in our way, ignorance of I am so and so or I am the body, this will not come in the way because I know the body is different and I am different. This is how the entire view would change, the world view would change, the interpersonal relationships would change in our families. Thank you.